Number 5. The term with the y to the power of 5 in 5 minus 2y to the 8 is. So it's going to be 5 plus negative 2y to the 8 in the first place. This is x. This represents y. This represents n. What we do not know is k, correct? Whenever they give me something like this, there are ways that you can work around it thinking about it. But what I always do in any of these cases is I put what I know and then leave blanks in the case spot to start with. And then we use that to figure out what we need k to be. Okay? So I'm going to fill it into the formula. So n, which is 8, c, I don't know, so I leave a blank. Now, if they tell you 5th term, you'd use k equals 4. If they tell you 10th term, you'd say k equals 9, right? Because it's always one less than the term you're finding. In this case, they didn't tell us which term. They just told us the term with y5. So when it's like that, I leave blanks in my k till I can figure out what I should make my k be. So 8c blank, x is 5 to the 8 minus blank, y is negative 2y to the blank. So in order to have a term with y5, what's my k going to have to be? What would I fill in those blanks for it to be a 5? No, I need y5. 5. I need this to be y to the 5, and the only way I can make it be y to the 5 is if this is a 5. All these blanks are k's, so all of them would be 5s, correct? When k is 5, what term is that? 6. So this is term number 6. So if they ask you what term number is it, you would put that. So you could do term number 6. Or if they want to know what the actual term is, like what does it look like? What is it? We just finished this. So what's 8c5? Anyone? Everyone? How much? 56. And then this is 5 cubed, which is 125. And then this is negative 2 to the 5, y to the 5. Negative 2 has to go in brackets if you're going to punch into your calculator to the 5. And negative 2 to the 5, I think, is negative 32. So what is this? 56 times 125 times negative 32? Dora, what'd you get? 1,000? Y5. So this question can be asked in that. Is that what it is? Yeah. Okay. This question can be asked in three different questions could be asked from this one question. What term is this? Well, it's term 6. What is the term? Negative 224,000 y5. What's the coefficient of the term with the variable y5? Coefficient is the number that's in front, right? So what's the coefficient of the variable with the exponent or with the variable y to the 5? The coefficient would be negative 224,000. Okay, ABC. You wouldn't have the y5 because they're just asking you for the coefficient. They're asking you for the number in front. Okay. We're going to skip 5 for a second. We will come back to it because this is probably the one that the meat and potatoes that people find the hardest one. So we'll go to 6 and 7 for now. So 6 says one term in this expansion is that. If they don't give me the term number, you have to just start filling in and put blanks for your case. Okay? So x is x, y is a, n is 10. So we're going to go 10, c, I don't know, x to the 10 minus, I don't know, a, because I'm not sure. And what does that have to equal? When I do that, what does it have to equal? 3,281,250 x to the 4, right? Ultimately, when I'm done this, it's going to equal that, correct? So I'm going to set it equal to that. Someone said it and they're correct. It's x to the 4. That's the one thing we do know, ultimately, that we need to have an x to the 4. Well, the only one that has an x is this one here. It's 10 minus something. I need this to be x to the 4. So what's this blank have to be? 6. If this blank is 6, this blank is 6, this blank is 6. All the blanks are the same. So when you figure out what one of the blanks are, you just fill the rest in with that same number. Okay? Because they're all just representing k. And now we're going to just solve for a to the 6. Well, technically for just a. What's 10c6? So we have 210 x to the 4, a to the 6 equals 3, 2, 8, 1, 2, 5, 0, x 4. I can cross off both x4s. Why? X to the power 4. Because they'll just cancel anyways. If you divide by x4 on one side, you have to do it to the other side. They're going to cross off. Now I'm left with that. I'm left with 210. A6. I guess should have an arrow, not an equal sign. $210 a to the 6 equals 3, 2, 8, 1, 2, 5, 0. What am I going to do next? So I get a to the 6 equals what? Now I need the 6th root. So everyone's following along to know how to do 6th root. You're going to go 6 in your calculator. You're going to go 6. You're going to go math. You're going to arrow down to the square root button that has an x in the index. So 6, math, number 5, and then you're going to go 15625. You're taking the 6th root. So what does a equal? So you're going to go 6, you're going to go math, you're going to go 5, which gets you 6th root, 15.625. 5. Remember, you can always check these as well, right? Now you could go x plus 5 to the 10, find the term with an x to the 4, and see if you get the same term. You can walk away from these ones knowing if you're completely right or completely wrong. This one's nicer than this one. Why is this one nicer than this one? It gives you a term. The moment it gives you a term, it gives you a k value. We don't have to find it, right? The 11th term is k equals what? 10. Remember, think about it. The first term, k equals 0. So k is always 1 less. So the 11th term, k equals 10. Okay? Fill it in exactly how we did before. You'll fill in a to the x for x. You'll fill in y for y. You'll fill in n for 13. You'll fill in 10 for k. And you'll set it equal to this. And solve for a. Try it out. Okay. So for this one, we're going to do 13 C 10 ax to the 13 minus 10 y to the 10 equals 2,288 x cubed y 10. There's one place where people error. See if you did it. 13C10 is what? Now this is 13 minus 10, so it's 3. This is the place where people error. This is a to the 3, x to the 3. People forget to put the 3 on the a. And your answer will be wrong because you won't cube root it. Yeah. So a to the 3, x to the 3, y to the 10 equals 2, 2, 8, 8, x, 3, y, 10. x3 and y10 cancel. So I'm left with 286a cubed equals 2,288. Divide by the 286, and you get a cubed equals what? 8. Then you cube root it, and you get 2. Then we're going to do the last one. So this one comes up a lot. It will show up on your test. I promise you it will. People will be like, nah, you won't give us something that awful. I will. They give it to them on, you get it on the diploma all the time. The one where it's like a fraction. All the time. Okay? It will show up on your unit test. It will show up on probably a cum down the line. Okay, maybe 2 cums. It shows up. It will be there. Learn how to do it and you will just ace it every time you see it. And life is so good, right? Right? Okay. So he wants the constant term. Now, coefficient means the number in front of a variable, correct? Coefficient and constant people get mixed up for some unknown reason. I'm not sure why. Probably because they both start with C's. Okay? Coefficient is the number in front. Constant is the number that remains constant. The only number that can remain constant is a number that doesn't have a variable attached to it. The moment you attach a variable onto a number, it's not constant anymore because you can fill a different number in for that variable. So if you had like 2x, if I fill a 1 in for x, it's 2. If I fill a 2 in for x, it would be 4 because I'd multiply it. If I fill a 3 in for x, it would be 2 times 3, which would be 6. So that's not a constant number at all. So the only way you can get a constant number is a number that doesn't have a variable. Because if I had like 3x plus 2, the only one that's going to remain constant is that plus 2 because there's nothing I can do to it that's going to change it. But the 3x would change, right? Because I can fill something in for x. So constant means the term without a variable. So, do we know what term it is? No. Whenever we don't know what term it is, we don't freak out. We instantly just fill in what we do know, which is everything but k. Put blanks in for k every single time. Do you see how this is just consistently, when you don't know a term, you just fill in blanks and you can probably figure it out. Okay. So we know that this is actually 2x plus negative 1 over x squared to the 15. This goes in the x place, this goes in the y, this goes in for n, and k is a blank. So we're going to get 15c blank 2x to the 15 minus blank negative 1 over x squared to the blank. We need to figure out what we can fill in those blanks that would cause our x values to cancel. All right. This one here is an x squared. This one here is an x. So this exponent is going to be smaller than this exponent here, correct? Because I'm going to need a bigger exponent on the one with just an x and a smaller exponent on this one so that they actually match. It'll make sense in a second. So smaller one here, bigger one here. So if I pick 10, then this would be 10 and this would be 5. This would have a bigger exponent than this. That's not going to be helpful, right? So we can do educated guesses, or if you have no chance of an educated guess, just go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 till you get one that works. If you literally can't wrap your head around an educated guess, just guess until you get it. So I'm going to start at a number that's going to make this bigger and this smaller. So I'm going to start at 7, let's say. Don't write this down. You're just paying attention because it's not going to be 7. So say I fill a 7 in here and a 7 in here. This would become x to the 8, right? And this would be x to the 14. Are they the same? No. So 7 is not what I should choose. Okay. Then I'm going to try 6. This would be x to the 9. This can be x to the 12. Do they cancel? No. I'm going to try 5. This is going to be x to the 10. This is going to be x to the, we found it. Put a 5 here. If you have to work your way down from 15 all the way to 1 until you find one that matches, go for it. I don't really care. Just a lot of people like spend time just guessing randomly all over the place and they don't remember which one they guessed in the first place. So if you have to do a consecutive guess, then go. 15C5 is what? Then 15 minus 5 is actually 10. So I'm going to get 2 to the 10, x to the 10. And then I'm going to get negative 1 to the 5 on the top over x to the 10 on the bottom. Now my x to the 10s cancel, which is good because they need to cancel. Remember, negative 1 to the 5 is just negative 1. So your answer is going to be a negative number. It's going to be negative 1 or negative 3075. Negative 3,075,072. So it's not a horrible concept. You just need to set it up and then work till you get them till they cancel. Does that make sense? Now you can do the last page of your hand. On Monday, I'll be checking your homework. Your homework is going to be this full thing. So the stuff from yesterday and that. No. What's left? So like for this stuff from yesterday and then this little add-on here. So this was yesterday's homework. This is today's homework, but I'm going to check them as a combined homework check on Monday. Binomial theorem. There will be a large portion of the test on binomial theorem, right? So you need to know how to do it. What happens is at the end, people start like slacking off on homework because they're just have a hand in this. You can't. You have to be able to do all that homework.